Hello everyone and welcome to our YouTube coaching guide for Fortnite. My name is Coach JD and I'm the FPS coach here at the Esports Players Club in Tampa. And I believe that before you even start playing the game, it's extremely important to build a very solid foundation. So we are going to start with sensitivity. The first thing you want to take into account is going to be your mouse DPI or dots per inch. Some baseline numbers are 400, 800, 1600. These are the most common. If you head over to Pro Settings to check out what pros are doing for their settings on Fortnite, that'll give you a good starting point. So, talking about high sensitivity versus low sensitivity. You can alter these in your settings. Under here, X, Y, targeting, and scope. And we'll talk about the different ways that you can identify your perfect sensitivity. So, talking about high sense versus low sense, high sensitivity is going to be reserved for people who are mostly wrist aimers and wrist movers with their mouse. This will give you high speeds on turning, but it'll also reduce the amount that you're able to actively track some targets. As far as low sensitivity goes, your swiping is very, very slow across the camera, but your targeting will be much more accurate because your mouse is not having to respond to the little baby adjustments that your mouse is doing when you cue them. So, one of the things I like to do is I like just to find the middle ground. And one of the things that I use to do that is called the PSA method calculator. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you have your desktop mouse settings at a good baseline. Right here I have in their pointer options, we have our pointer speed directly in the center, and you want to make sure that your enhanced pointer precision is unchecked. Alright, so I'm going to show you what the PSA method calculator looks like. Here on the screen you see a starting sensitivity, which is going to be your X and Y. So for example, mine's 8%. Okay, so we'll start at 8, and we'll type that in. And what we're looking to do is, I've already figured out that as I sweep my hand comfortably on the mouse pad, I do what's called the 360 method, right? So I'll have one starting point, and then from the leftmost side of the mouse that I feel comfortable using, I will make a full rotation, 360, over to the point just about where I'm going to be using my swipe space on my mouse pad all the way to the right. So for me, that's 8%. So the exercise that you want to do now is you want to take into account, or you want to test rather, 4 versus 12 in that same motion. Okay, so if I go ahead and I put this to 4 roughly, right, on each, I'll do that. Then I do the same thing and I want to make a full 360. I notice I can't get there. It's not comfortable for me. I have to swipe twice on my keyboard or my mouse to get there, right? So that's not going to work for me. So then I test that against 12%, roughly, right? I do the same thing. I turn my mouse all the way around. That's a lot easier for me, right? So I'm going to put in my calculator that higher is better. And then it's going to give me a new sensitivity to test. You want to test the lower versus the higher. And you will do this for 7 iterations until it gives you your perfect sensitivity. Alright, so now let's talk about targeting and scope sensitivity. So going into the settings, you will see that these metrics right here, you can alter these. For me personally, this is what I use. Targeting and sensitivity, you can read the description here. When you're targeting, it'll slow down your sensitivity about 75% of what your current base is on my metrics. So while my 8% is this, my 75% now is a little bit slower, right, when I'm targeting. So you'll see like I can move fast and then all of a sudden, right, now it's a little bit slower, right? So in order to find your perfect sensitivity for this, All you want to do is simply find yourself a rifle. This one's the Ranger. And you're going to strafe while shooting and trying to keep your target, your crosshair, on the very center of your target. And you will do this both left and right, and you will adjust as needed. Same thing for the scope sensitivity. Get some distance from your target and try your best while strafing to keep the crosshair on center mass. Very simple. All you have to do is come into any of your creative maps and figure it out what works best for you.